Hello, good morning. Welcome to Gaming Insight Daily for Tuesday, July 1st, 2025. I'm Steve Saylor. This is your daily show of gaming news, accessibility news, or updates about my life. I have coffee in my Twitch mug today. And today, I wanted to be able to do a bit of housekeeping at first, because if you are available today, the day of recording on July 1st, I will be doing a special one-shot, TTRPG one-shot set in the Daggerheart system, created by Critical Role, and they have a system in there called Age of Umbra, which is kind of more of a sort of like a Dark Souls like setting, and we're going to be playing in that today on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Steve Saylor. The one shot is called Unbroken, an Age of Umbra story. Today will be the session 0, so basically where we get to create the characters and sort of help mold a bit of where the story is going to go. And then on tomorrow, which is Wednesday, July 2nd, you will be doing the actual one shot of the story. So it's a two-parter, 2 days in a row. You can be able to tune in for that. Again, twitch.tv/Steve Saylor. I think there's a link in the description. And I'll be starting at 3 p.m. Eastern today and 3:30 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. So yeah, but let's jump into the story for today, because today involves several parts and several things I wanted to be able to show you. There was, you know me, whenever I do this show, I generally kind of have articles sort of spur the conversation, or at least start the conversation when it comes to anything in regards to the gaming industry or also accessibility. And I never want to like poke at or bash an article or an author of an article based on not necessarily misinformation, but just kind of coming at a particular thing with a specific premise that or at least like sort of a theory or sort of conclusion, without really understanding kind of what is the kind of the greater context of things. I generally like with this show being able to give greater context to news stories that is happening in the moment, and also through an accessibility lens. So that is basically where I'm coming at today. So I'm saying all this because I am not bashing the author of this article. I'm not bashing the article itself. I'm not bashing the outlet themselves. I just think that this could have been handled at least a little bit differently with the proper information. So I'm going to be talking about the article, and then we're going to be actually doing a little bit of a show and tell, a little bit of an example of how a particular thing works in the game to kind of give the greater context of a particular feature. Don't worry, it'll all make sense once I get into it. So the article is from GameSpot, and it is oops, sorry, I just realized. All right, sorry about that. I had to pause the recording for a sec. So the article is from GameSpot, written by Kevin Nazevic. The article title, or the headline, is Switch 2's Zelda Notes feature misses the point of the games. And so I'm going to read portion of it, because this is a long, basically a feature article, but essentially it's kind of more of an opinion piece for certain things. So Nintendo has given a number of Switch 1 games some extensive upgrades on the Switch 2, but none more so than The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild and its sequel, Tears of the Kingdom. Not only do both titles look and run much better on the system or on the new hardware, with crispier visuals and smoother frame rates, they can also sync up with a brand new companion service called Zelda Notes. But as novel as some of its features can be, the service often contradicts the game's most captivating qualities, their sense of discovery. Access through the Nintendo Switch mobile app, Zelda Notes offers a suite of features to supplement your adventure in Hyrule. You can view detailed records of your own playthrough, including the number of enemies you've slain and materials you've collected, as well as global stats to see how you stack up with the wider player base. The service also has its own achievement system in the form of medals, which are awarded when you hit different milestones, such as using Zonai powers 1,000 times, along with a function to share items and auto build designs with other players. All of this is neat, but in essential, you can play through either title without once consulting the app, and your adventure would not feel any less fulfilling. However, one feature that does have an appreciable impact on the experience is navigation. On top of being a repository of personal stats, Zelda Notes can effectively act as a GPS for your game, leading you to a specific point of interest or collectible. As you're exploring Hyrule, the service displays your current location on the map along with an extensive list of things to discover around the kingdom, from shrines and cave entrances to different treasures and enemies. Select a destination, such as Korok you've been left to find, and the app will guide you there with audio directions, helping you mop up any collectibles you've missed or had trouble locating. On one hand, this seems like the most compelling reason to use Zelda Notes, especially for completionists. Both Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom are vast games with an overwhelming number of shrines to activate and other secrets to discover, so having a means to track down any you've overlooked without having to go through the inconvenience of Googling the solution is a boon. And indeed, it works fairly well. Aside from the occasional syncing quirk, the feature is intuitive and simple to use, which makes it temptingly easier to fire up when you say, struggling to suss out where your shrine radar is trying to lead you. And yet, as I was testing out navigation, I couldn't help but feel like I was cheating. More on this, like I said, in a minute. Much of the appeal of Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom it stems from the free-form, open-ended structure. Both are designed to continually stoke your curiosity, encouraging you to stray from your current objective with breathtaking landmarks and other enticing diversions. Exploration is very much a reward unto itself, and the most satisfying discoveries often occur when you indulge a whim and venture off the beaten path. In this respect, the entire purpose of the navigation feature runs counter to what makes these games so special. Being able to pinpoint a shrine you've missed and simply follow directions there is convenient, but it undermines the sense of discovery that makes these games so enthralling. What's more, both titles already offer in-game ways to track certain objects, which are better at preserving the spirit of adventure from Zelda Notes' navigation feature. On top of the aforementioned shrine radar, there's the Korok mask, which will rattle when you are in the vicinity of a hidden Korok, but both of these do a fine job of nudging you in the right direction without overly spoiling the solution, offering helpful guidance while still allowing you to feel the satisfaction of discovering things on your own. Navigation removes that entirely, which in turn diminishes the sense of accomplishment when you do finally locate the object you're seeking. Now that he goes on to talk more about the Zelda Notes app, but I wanted to address this. Again, I think that it's not to say that I don't think that Kevin didn't have a valid point in this, and that he was completely wrong or giving misinformation. I just think that if he was if he had considered what other people might need in regards to playing a game, and instead of thinking of a singular sort of design experience, then I think that this article could have been written a little differently. And I think this could have been written as Zelda Notes is a great way to be able to appreciate the exploration and the design of both Zelda games, but but done in a way that can enhance the experience. And I wanted to showcase kind of what I mean. I mean, of course, I'm gonna say the Zelda Notes is a great accessibility option. And I say option because it is. It is a separate app that you have to download. It's part of the Nintendo Switch app that you have to download onto your phone, and it is a feature within there. So it is not only it's not part of the game itself. It is an optional app on a different device that you have to use. So I think that when he says it feels like it's cheating, it's not. The app was not built for him. It wasn't built with him in mind. It was built in a way to be able to enhance the experience of Legend of Zelda, but done as an optional thing. You don't have to use it if you don't want to. But for those who want to use it, to those who are having struggles trying to be able to find shrines or Korok seeds throughout the vast map, actually multiple maps in Tears of the Kingdom's case, being able to find them across that vast map, it might be a struggle for some. And having this kind of navigational approach, this GPS navigational approach, might be the better way to be able to play the game and still appreciate the exploration of the game itself. It is not, again, accessibility is not cheating. It never has, it never will be. Accessibility is designed as an optional features and sometimes design to be able to make sure that as many people as possible can be able to play the games and still keep the integrity and the challenge of the game intact. It is never meant to make a game just easier or cheating or giving more players of an advantage over other players. It is never meant for that. It is never intended for that. That is the misinformation in regards to accessibility that is unfortunately has kind of spread throughout the general gaming landscape, that people automatically think that accessibility is cheating because it's giving it to them, it's making the game easier, but in reality it's just removing barriers for those who who physically cannot interact with the game, makes it removes those barriers but still keeps the game in integrity intact. So that's all I'm going to say about the actual article itself, the premise of it. So what I'm going to spend the rest of the video doing is I'm actually going to show you how the Zelda Notes app works and show that it can, and talk about how it can actually be a great accessibility feature. So we're going to jump into basically Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom for us, and I'm going to mute my music and then basically have the music of the game up, so hopefully I don't get dinged for it. And you can see that I actually have on screen here the Nintendo Switch app on my phone, and I also have it connected via audio as well, so we'll be able to hear the audio GPS when we get to it. But we're going to bring up the Zelda Notes app, which is built into the Nintendo Switch app itself, so it's not a separate download. It is, I mean, it kind of is, but it's part of the Nintendo Switch app anyway. So you open up the Zelda Notes, and you can decide on which game that you're currently playing. So it's either Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom, so we're going with Tears of the Kingdom in this case. And you can see it has like basically now a phone interface where you can be able to listen to voice memories, which is additional content basically from Zelda herself, and you can be able to find listen to those. And you're searching for a voice memory currently right now. Oh, and I apologize. I basically have like a watermark where it says unregistered because I don't have a registered for this sharing app kind of thing. Okay, so it's still searching, but I mean, it looks like I'm not close to a Zelda memory, but I think it will just basically react when you get close. So if you can't be able to do that right now, but you can also be able to show my play data. Basically, I've earned a new medal, which is kind of like their internal achievement system, and you can see all the different stats I've got. Well, let's see, which one is this one? Sage's Sworn Friend. Earned by increasing your Sage powers, use stats, and I basically earned it on as of recently because of that just recently. So global play data, you can basically look at and viewing different data sets. You can be able to basically you can kind of see how many you've unlocked, and basically I could see like how many abilities I've locked with each different person. I could see enemies defeated. Apparently, bokoblins are my most defeated enemy out of 352. And there's a daily bonus, where a daily test of luck. And let's see, I think I could basically, I could touch to start. So let's touch that. Yeah, it's like a roulette sort of type deal. Oh, that's kind of neat. I actually have not done this. Touch to stop. Okay, we'll touch to stop. Let's see what I get. Weapon repairs. Okay, that's great. That's actually one thing that they mentioned in the article. Fully restores the durability of your weapons. Time remaining to activate event. I have basically 24 hours to be able to activate it. So there is a restriction on it. It's not a constant thing that you can be able to do. You have 24 hours to be able to repair the durability of your weapons. So that's cool. I can basically do that. Also, if I wanted to be able to connect an amiibo, which actually I do have an amiibo right now. Okay, so I think actually if I be able to move this here, actually I can even show you. I think if I do this. Oop, nope, no, come back here. I gotta get used to the thing again. Here we go. So we do amiibo. Okay, and then if I scan, because I've got one of those bracelets from Super Nintendo World. So I bring that, and it drops down to cool item, like basically free items for me. And it looks like I've got some mushrooms, which makes sense because it is Mario, and an apple as well. And it should register a refresh. Apparently, oh yeah, no, I already have this actually. So this actually is amiibo that I do have, but I guess it kind of like counted this as such. I think it's probably maybe Zelda Breath or amiibos I could be able to use. But anyway, I think you get the point. And it has an auto build sharing, so I can basically go into here and I can find basically things that have been. Please either send data from the game or scan a QR code. Okay, so if I select... No, wait, actually cancel. Hand for unlocking. Show location. Depths contain the way. Oh, okay, basically, okay, there's an... I have to go to a specific spot. Oh, that's kind of cool. Okay. And item sharing, here we go. So let's do that. I think you should be able to do... You could basically connect to other players to be able to share stuff as well. But then also, I think... sharing disabled currently right now. And item box sharing. There we go. Let's do that. And I don't have basically anything right now, so I have to connect with another player in order to be able to do that. But you can be able to share items as well. So if there's something that you wanted to be able to build or share items with other players, you can be able to basically kind of do that to scan QR codes. But let's jump into the navigation aspect here. Okay. This is what I really wanted to show. So right now I have the map up and you can see, if I zoom out, I have it currently selected for all of the shrines that are in the world. Right now I'm on the sort of the overworld. So I'm in the main Hyrule map and you can see that there are some shrines that I have already unlocked. You can see that the darker colored ones are darker color shrines are, I can even tap on one. You can see that underneath the name of the shrine is complete, but I can see here that there is a shrine not too far from here. It's the Ren is shrine, and if I wanted to be able to navigate to it based on where I'm at, I can tap on activate voice guidance.
Guidance activating. Proceed far northeast.
Okay, and I could be able to, I can see that on the map, basically in relative real time, where I'm currently facing. And it does a decent job at being able to...
Proceed far northeast.
Oh, apparently I'm going south, so I need to go point this, okay, I need to go this way. So you can see that basically I am... It updates in relative real time, but it's also going to give me, as I move...
Proceed far northeast.
A navigational, sort of a navigational assistance, and it's not, you know, I will say this: this is not the be-all end-all solution for a blind player. Yes, it definitely will help, because if you have someone who has sighted assistance, or you can be able to utilize the app with the I think it's limited in regards to voiceover, but if they could be able to point on at a thing on the map, and you can be able to have basically you can have where you are basically navigating to it, and without having to have sighted assistance to navigate to certain things on the map, which is really cool. I think honestly that is kind of the best way to kind of go about it.
Please proceed.
So I'm just following along this map. It's basically saying, when it says please proceed, it basically is telling me I'm heading towards the right direction. I'm just going to keep going. So now if I kind of veer off course, it's probably going to tell me, hey, go north. Cool.
Proceed far northeast.
Yep. So, okay, proceed far
Proceed
north.
some distance northeast.
Okay. Again, it's not the easiest way to be able to navigate. It's not the most precise way to navigate, but in a game where it's open world, having to navigate with having navigational assistance is very difficult. I think probably the best examples of a good open world navigation assist is honestly in Star Wars Outlaws currently right now, and I think also Assassin's Creed Shadows are really great for audio for navigational assistance and also for screen readers. Now, of course, the Nintendo it'd be so much better if they actually designed with accessibility in mind, but it would be.
Please proceed.
It would be so much. That's the thing with Nintendo is that they often design with demographics in mind, or kind of trying to be able to make it so that like everybody can be able to play. That if you really break it down to that is what it's Nintendo's ultimate mission is. They want to be able to make it so that everyone can be able to play. Now, if they would decide to design with accessibility in mind, it would then you can be able to create and design things based off of disabled players' needs. Oh, horsey! I'm not going to try to get the horses. I already have a horse. I'm just basically just running for right now. I don't have my horse available. What was I saying? But if they design with accessibility in mind, then it would be the better option. So then that way everybody can feel included and everybody can be able to play Nintendo games. But because they do have an accessibility, or like at least an everyone can be able to play their games mode.
Northeast.
Then it does. It honestly, there are certain things that are incidentally accessible, where it's not intended for accessibility purposes, but it is designed for as many people to play. So I think I'm repeating myself at this point, but I think you understand my meaning. Is that it would be great if Nintendo would offer that or be able to do that within their game design process, because they are geniuses at game design, and I think that having something like this is an amazing feature that I think again is optional. I think it'd be great if it was available.
Please proceed.
It's great that it's available to everybody as long as you have a phone and an internet connection. It'll totally work. And I think it doesn't solve a navigational assist in Legend of Zelda, but it definitely. It definitely opens this up to a lot more players than it did before. And I don't think that this sort of negates the discovery of certain things, because the thing is, as I'm running, I'm also looking at different things across the map. Like, look, I can see, oh, maybe I want to be able to kind of look into that direction. Obviously, I know that that's where the blight is and all that, or, you know, it's a dangerous area, so I'm going to have to try to avoid that. But as I'm kind of like looking over the landscape, let me just see. Let's take a look here. Oh, I can see that there is a glow. There is something that's giving off light over there. I want to go and check that out. I might be curious to see what's kind of in that direction. But the thing is, it's like, okay, I see that off in the distance. Well, man, let me look at the map and see what is going to be coming up in my in that general area. That a point of interest that I might want to pick up along the way.
Northeast.
I think that's great. I think that's a really amazing, and I can see here that basically this look there's a it locks in, because once you're like locked into it, I do like that actually, that little bit of feature. If you are navigating to a point, it doesn't show you every other point, so you do have to get out of it in order to be able to see it. But again. Let's just go to the shrine, because I know that it is nearby.
Proceed northeast.
Okay, where is it here? It's near here. I keep forgetting what jump is. Oh yeah, there we go.
Please proceed.
I want to go back in to play this again. I have not played this in a while. Okay, so is this a cave?
Proceed a short distance east.
Okay, we're getting close. Oh shoot. Okay, gotta get out. I'm out. I'm about to get killed.
Proceed a short distance northeast.
Oh boy. Who's firing at me? Oh, these guys. Oh, bokoblins. Okay. Nope.
Proceed a short distance northeast. Proceed
Cool.
a short distance north.
Oh, so apparently let's see. Let's see. I believe it probably is inside this thing now that
Proceed a short distance north.
now that I've kind of navigated to it. So let's see. Oh, nope. I think it is inside. So I think I'm gonna have to. Oh no! Not the moon! Not the moon! It's gonna reset everything. Oh no! 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 Oh shoot! Bad timing, Steve. Bad timing.
Proceed a short distance southeast.
Okay. I avoided it. Thank goodness.
Proceed a short distance east.
All right. Oh, there it is. There's the shrine. Let's go.
In this
Actually,
vicinity,
there we go.
you have
Perfect.
discovered your destination.
Look at that.
Guidance deactivating.
And then it deactivates on the map, so then I can be able to see, okay, let's go back to the map or the thing here. I can definitely see. Oh, look. Okay, so in that direction of where I wanted to go, towards that shining light that's kind of off in this direction, I can be able to see. Oh, there's another shrine there. There's maybe potential a few shrines along the way. I can be able to go pick them up, or if I'm looking for Korok seeds, I can I can select the different categories too. So let's see if I want to be able to. There's the. Let's look for. Hidden Koroks. Let's see if there's anything. See, I can see a whole bunch that's actually really nearby. Let's go navigate towards one of those. Let's see. Activate.
Guidance activating. Proceed southeast.
Okay. I gotta get out of this cave-ish area.
Double check your direction.
Oh, I like that. So it's definitely telling me, okay, hey, I'm definitely going the wrong way. Okay.
Proceed southeast.
Okay. Looks like I'm going relatively the right way.
Proceed east.
You can take that. Thank you very much. I want the Hylian herbs. Okay. So it looks like that if I think it's inside.
Proceed a short distance east.
Somehow in here.
Proceed a short distance southeast.
Somehow.
Proceed a short distance east.
Somehow right here. Now again, this is hidden, so it's like you do have to. This is not necessarily the
Proceed
perfect.
a short distance east.
A perfect.
Proceed a short distance southeast.
Let me see if I climb up here, maybe.
In this vicinity,
Ah,
you have reached your destination.
it's in here.
Guidance deactivating.
There we go. I think it's in here. It's got to be in here, I would imagine. Did I not find it? Oh yeah, there's probably like something like hidden or whatever that I need to be able to do for this one. It's been a minute since I played, so I'm like I'm trying to remember it or like re-remember everything. I mean, you kind of get the point. It navigated me to where I needed to go. And I still have to find it, and I still have to discover it. It's still I have to do the puzzle essentially. I still have to solve the shrine. The app is not gonna tell me how to be able to do that. It just helps me to navigate towards that. And again, if I look out over the distance, I can be able to see, okay, there's some interesting. That's the blight over, or the basically that's the bad zone over there. Or I can see like, okay, yep, there's that still those 3 lights. I want to see what potentially that might be. If I haven't been to it before, I can see, okay, I'm in the app. I'm looking at a very specific direction, and I can see, okay, potentially there's a lot more Korok seeds. There's potentially maybe a village nearby. Let's find that. Actually, I'm just going to untap all the shrines in the Korok so I can be able to like, clear that up a little bit. So, okay, so I see that actually there is a village, Koriko Village, that's nearby, and I could be able to, okay, I know I could probably get some help there, or at least be able to rest there. So I could basically go to that village, and I could just navigate to it. But it's in the general direction of seeing a thing off in the distance. So I think that showing what this app can be able to do is highlighting something that I think is the article misses. It's still this app still allows for exploration. It doesn't solve everything for you. It doesn't yes, the appeal or the great sort of idea of I discovered this thing, and it feels like you've discovered it on your own. The excitement that you feel when you go through that, yes, that is part of the game, and that is also I guess an intended feel intended through the game design. But for those who want maybe a little bit more of a guided experience or through this game, or see a giant map like Legend of Zelda, and they're like, this is not how I used to play Zelda, if they played it before, or they've never played a Zelda game before like I did. I would have loved to have this feature. I would have loved to have been able to be like, okay, how do I navigate to it? Yes, there are certain things in the like Korok masks and stuff to be able to find where to find where the Koroks are nearby. But that only happens if I'm like yes, I'm navigating, but I can still be able to do that. I could basically just turn off all that category of the Korok mask and still keep the shrines on. If I could basically have that as like, okay, I need to know where the shrines are. I want to be able to know where these are, because I know I can be able to unlock them, be able to help things. I just need to know when those are. And if I have the Korok mask, and if I come across a potential, like there's a hidden Korok there, I can still use it. I don't even have to use the navigation, the GPS in the app itself to be able to do it. I think it really comes down to, again, it is an optional feature. You don't have to use it if you don't want it. If it feels like it's cheating, quote unquote, to you, you're not the intended audience for this feature. You are not you could still navigate the world as you wish. This just helps this app. It literally just enhances it. It enhances the experience. Granted, would this have been great would this conversation come up if this was launched at the launch of the game? It would have been a definitely different conversation, but people would have liked it because it was an intended use of the intended design for the game. But now that it's been out for at least about a couple years, especially with Breath of the Wild back in 2017 and Tears of the Kingdom in 2023, I believe, it's still I think it's for those who, yes, are the completionists. It can help those out too. But I think it's just a great way to be able to open this up to potential more people, including disabled players. So I would ask if any other folks from media side or from whoever writes these guides or what have you, if you're thinking about writing an article, it's like this changes the intent of the game, this ruins the design experience, or it ruins the art of the game, it feels like it's cheating. I ask you, think about who this would be intended for. Is it intended for you, or is it intended for someone else? Is it designed for you, or is it designed for someone else? Is it optional, or is it mandatory? And in this case, it's optional. It's not mandatory that you use this. And if you think that it's cheating you out of the experience of the game, I can assure you it's not. Because even just the few minutes that I was able to use this, I found a shrine that I had not looked for before. And I've been playing Tears of the Kingdom. I have, I think, about 40 some odd hours. I still haven't finished the game because it's been a minute and I got I couldn't be able to finish it because of accessibility reasons, but I want to go back into this now that I have this app. This app will allow me to beat the game the way I wanted to. This app was intended for me, for people like me. So I ask, if you are a media person, if you are a journalist, and you're thinking about that as the premise of the article, I ask you, think about who it's intended for. Think about someone beyond yourself. That's all about accessibility really is. It's about it's helping you, like, accessibility advocating is just helping you like understand what it's like for a disabled person and to understand what we deal with on a day-to-day basis. So, and it allows you to think about someone else other than yourself and your specific needs. That's it. So I hope this video helped you, and if it definitely was helpful and showing off a cool feature that you did not know, and you were like, hey, I did not know you could be able to do that. It is available, I think, in both the main Switch 1 or Switch. I don't know if it's Switch 2 specific with the upgrade, but I believe it actually is available. Actually, I'm going to look it up. I'm going to pause the recording. I'm going to look it up and let you know.